As you can see, the recoil is minimal. For new shooters, it's just perfect. Well, for me, it's perfect. I'm going to do a quick review of one of my favorite guns, and when I teach shooting, this is actually the first gun my students use. It is a Ruger Mark IV 2245 Tactical. Let's just break it down. What you see is a heavily modified version of the original gun. I changed the sights, I added this suppressor, and I added this, of course. This is a semi-automatic magazine fed 22 long rifle. It has 10 round mags. They're really nice because they have the little doodly-doo here that you can pull down to drop rounds into the magazine. I've got Williams Firesights. They're fiber optic. The cool thing about this gun is the original Ruger Mark I was based on the Luger, the German Luger pistol. And you can kind of see in the upper part of the gun the way it looks, and the trigger guard, that classic German look. The grip, though, is like a 1911, which is interesting to me because the German Luger and the American Colt 1911 were used at the same time by opposing forces. The Americans in World War I and II used the 1911, like the grip here. The Germans used the Luger, among several other handguns, which is on the top here. So it's kind of a marriage between enemies, which is really cool. A couple things about it: the manual of arms, there is an ambidextrous safety, just like on a 1911. There's a magazine release, just like on a 1911 or standard handgun. And then you have your slide lock and slide release. You can modify the gun so that when you do this, it slams shut. Otherwise, you actually do have to use the slide lock as the slide release, which there's a debate right now about whether or not we should be using this on other guns as a release or as a lock, or both. They're just, they're kind of mediocre, and I wish that they had been just plain aluminum or wood or anything other than this squishy, gross rubber. The trigger pull on this gun is actually pretty bad. It's mushy. It resets very, it's got a mushy reset. It's got a lot of slack. I would really like to replace it with like a Volquartsen or something else. We're going to look into that later. So also on this gun I have a Sparrow, a 22 Silencerco Sparrow, which is one of the best things I ever bought because these are unnecessary when I shoot this gun. But yeah, Will says, you know, last night when we were shooting there was some quite a bit of pop coming out of this. Quieter than one of those little black hat fireworks, I think. First round pop, second round pop. Real quick too, when I teach someone to begin with, this is the first gun I like them to shoot, or we have a 6-inch 22 revolver. Personally, I prefer this because it's quiet, it doesn't bark, the recoil is very little, and there's very little flash. So for a new shooter, they're able to focus on pulling the trigger, lining up their sights. They're able to focus on the technique, the grip, the stance, the trigger pull, and the sight alignment. And they're not being, the gun's not snapping around, it's not making noise. So we can focus on the joy of putting holes in something over there. And then we can graduate up to the louder and more powerful cartridges. But this is always how I like to start my people off. And in that sense, this was one of the best investments I ever made, because everyone who's ever shot this gun, and quite a few people have, they love it. This is their favorite gun. I've never had anyone say they didn't like shooting this gun, even people who hate guns. So one more thing about recoil, when we have what's called forward non-reciprocating mass, this is a big heavy thing. It's a light and laser combo. This is a big heavy thing. They don't move and they're at the front of the gun. So the gun wants to tip downwards. When the gun goes off, it's there's less rise because there's more mass that the recoil has to move. So they make the gun heavier, but they make the gun heavier in a way that makes it shoot softer. So all around, not just because of the suppressor, but because of the added weight in the front, this gun is really sweet to shoot. It doesn't move around much. Finally, this is a Streamlight TLR2 HLG. That's high lumen green laser. 800 lumens coming out the front of this. It's so bright that the number of photons striking, if I put my hand right here, the number of photons striking my hand generates heat. The light itself is not heat. Well, the lamp and the physical thing here is not hot. It's the photons coming out that are striking my hand and generating heat. Just like the sun's photons are coming down and smacking me and generating heat. Also, this light makes it easy to shoot in any conditions. So going out night hunting or whatnot, this is perfect for that. The laser, it's kind of fun, but I don't think lasers for sighting are very useful. Then again, I don't have night vision and an infrared laser. So anyways, and finally, the sights are Williams Firesights. They are fiber optic. They are really good. The sights that came on this gun suck. They were just solid black metal. I just don't understand why that is, why they do that, because you're going to change them. Yeah, no, I mean, I have had quite a bit of frustration with this gun. Not only did I have issues with the rear sight, not only did I need to replace these sights because black sights are garbage. I don't care who you are. Let's the comments become a flame war now. But yeah, fiber optics or tritium is the way to go. Also, in addition to having troubles with the sights, I had trouble with the safety. The safety, I had to send this gun back to Ruger for them to fix something wrong with the inside of the gun. When they manufactured this, they did something wrong. Anyways, let's do some shooting. Oops. This is hard. There we go. Oh, there's a jam. Something wrong with that. That's good. It's a lot of fun. Let's hit that watermelon or cantaloupe. When we reload, it's very easy, especially for newcomers, because this is relatively pain-free. We use our one finger to raise and lower this guy, and we lower it just enough to put each bullet in. I have had shooters who only shoot this gun because everything past this, like 9mm and stuff, it's just too much for them, and that's fine. As you can see, the recoil is minimal. For new shooters, it's just perfect. Well, for me, it's perfect.